Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another pregnancy weekly update. Today, according to my app, I am 6 weeks and 6 days pregnant. So actually today I had my first ultrasound appointment and I want to talk to you guys about that a little bit. The ultrasound did not go as I had expected it to go. I kind of had suspicions that I was a little bit behind schedule, so I thought maybe I was like 4 days behind what my estimated due date was, or like how many weeks I was, but I was actually a week and 1 day behind, even though my doctor has not changed my due date yet. I don't know if that's gonna change or not, but I'm not sure what's gonna happen. But the baby was measuring 5 weeks and 4 days, and we actually could not really find the baby. They only found the yolk sac, and then they found like a little tiny dot, which we suspect is a baby, but we couldn't find a heartbeat or anything like that. And that was a little bit disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. I felt a little bit emotional about it. I cried about it a little bit, even though the doctor did reassure me that it's completely normal, that women tend to not really get a lot before 6 weeks. So being 5 weeks and 4 days on the ultrasound just means that I am behind schedule, and that is too early to detect heartbeat and to really see a baby, which is why normally they don't do ultrasounds that early. But since we were going off the first day of my last period, then according to those dates I would be 6 weeks 6 days, but it looks like I may have ovulated a lot later on than what I thought I did. And since I wasn't taking ovulation strips or anything like that, I don't really know when I ovulated. So that is probably why I'm so early and we don't know the dates yet. And that's probably why I didn't get a positive pregnancy test till 4 days after my missed period, because it was way too early to detect it. And so I did have suspicions about it. I did think I wasn't 6 weeks 6 days. I didn't know I was a few days behind. I just honestly wasn't expecting to be a week and a day behind. I thought maybe 3 or 4 days. So it was a little discouraging. With my previous 2 other pregnancies, I've always been able to see a heartbeat. I've always been able to see at least a shape of a baby or something, and this time around all I saw was a little round circle, which was the yolk sac, and a dot and that was the baby. And coming from a mom, it's hard because I already feel a connection with this baby, and I have found out so early that I'm pregnant. I know this is probably the earliest you can find out. I found out 2 weeks ago, which technically would have made me like 3 weeks pregnant, and I think 2 weeks is not a long time, but for me, knowing I'm pregnant for 2 weeks, that's a really long time for me. And I guess I kind of suspected that I wouldn't see a heartbeat. Something kind of told me that. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna cry, but when you go into a ultrasound room and you don't see one, it is very discouraging, and I couldn't help but feel a little bit scared and nervous. And I was there with my husband, and he basically was like, it's fine, it's fine. The doctor said it was fine. The ultrasound technician says she sees it all the time, but it's still very scary, and I kind of regret taking both of my kids with me because Ethan was very excited to see the baby, and it's like the mood just wasn't there anymore. We went in there super excited and walked out of there a little bit discouraged. And obviously if you're seeing this video, baby is fine, but this is right now what I'm feeling, my true emotions. I don't want to come across as ungrateful or like a baby because I'm crying because I didn't see a yolk, or crying because I didn't see a baby or a heartbeat, and that's not it, you guys. Like, I'm so grateful I get to be pregnant. I know so many women struggle with infertility and would give anything to be in my shoes and be able to have a baby, and thankfully, and I've been so blessed to be able to conceive and carry babies and not have any issues with that. So I don't want to come across as ungrateful. Like, I can't even imagine what it's like to go through infertility or experience a miscarriage, and I never want to go through that. So my heart goes out to all of you guys if you do struggle with that. But this is just how I feel, and I want to be honest with you guys, and my feelings are valid at the end of the day. And yeah, I feel a little bit scared and nervous, to be quite honest. That appointment, I kind of wish it was pushed. Like they would have like told me to come back in 4 weeks. Like I feel like 2 weeks to get a scan was way too early, and it just left me with a lot of doubt and insecurities, and it has discouraged me a little bit, and now I'm worried and that makes me really nervous. However, the doctor did schedule a rescan for next week, so in 7 days I will go back to my doctors, and they just want to find a heartbeat. My doctor is not concerned at all because we were able to find a healthy yolk sac, and that is what's important to him right now, is a yolk sac, because a yolk sac basically is what keeps the baby alive. And he's like, if there's a yolk sac, there's a baby. So if we see a healthy yolk sac and I see like a little dot, that is a baby there. It's just too tiny to really do measurements and to really see. However, when the ultrasound tech was looking, she zoomed in as much as she could, and we both could have sworn we saw flickering. She said the flickering could really just be everything moving around inside, but she did say, she didn't confirm it or anything, and we weren't able to actually hear a heartbeat. But she did say she thinks that was the heartbeat, but she wasn't sure, and she didn't want to say that was a heartbeat 100% sure, or 100% that was a heartbeat. So she didn't give me that reassurance that it was the heartbeat, but she thinks it could have been the heartbeat. I think the most discouraging part, and guys, I just want to share this with you in case you're going through this and you are 5 weeks pregnant or 6 weeks pregnant and you go through this. I just want to share my experience in case you are going through this, and maybe this will help you understand that this is completely normal, and I've never gone through it. So I want to share my experience with you guys. The most discouraging part of this was when you play the little recording of the heart. It's basically like a flat line, and it's supposed to have like lines of the heart. You're supposed to hear the heartbeat. She played that and it was just flat, and that's when I think it hit me, and that's when I took it wrong. I was like, oh my gosh, there's no heart. And she's like, no, that's not what it means. It just means it's too small to measure it, and it's just not catching it, but it doesn't mean it's not there. And after that, she did go back to show the doctor the pictures, which I will show you guys in a minute here. And then she came back to see me, even though the doctor was going to come see me as well. She took the pictures just to get a second opinion from him, and she came back and she sat with me, and she saw I was super worried, and she was like, look, this is very common. I see this a lot with women. Women can be off on their dates and they come in earlier than what they expect, and we don't find anything, and women get very discouraged and scared, but like they'll come in a week or two later and then suddenly we see a baby. So a lot can change in a week, and she just told me to not feel discouraged, that right now they do think it's a healthy pregnancy, and they see a baby and they see a healthy yolk sac, and it's measuring really small right now. So my days were just off. So she and the doctor don't feel like there's anything to be concerned about for right now, and he gave me like the thumbs up. He was like, you know, don't feel upset about it, you just came in too early and our dates are off. So we don't know if I'm going to change my due date yet. He said he wants to see the other scan where we can get proper measurements of everything, and then we'll see if we change it. But he's like, if it's not a huge difference, we may keep my due date the same. So we're not sure yet. I'm going to show you guys the scan. So this is the ultrasound picture. This is the baby. So basically they were saying that circle here, you see in the middle, that's the yolk sac. Then this dot right here would be the baby. Very, very tiny. This is probably the tiniest I've seen ever. With both of my kids, I was actually able to see Ethan at 7 weeks and Amelia at about 8.5 weeks. So with both of them, we were able to see heartbeats and get measurements and all of that. But this time around, we just didn't get to it. But I'm going to go ahead and still stick to 6 weeks and 6 days, gonna stick to that for right this minute, but these updates may change if my due date does change. So I just want to clarify that. I may like randomly like have a different week update when I just don't know how it's gonna work out, but I'm gonna still try and do these weekly updates this way. But I did start my weekly updates really early because that's what I thought I would. So this week the baby is a size of a sweet pea, so it is super tiny, and it measures 0.25 inches, so it is super small. And I think she was telling me that the baby was like 2 centimeters from what she can measure there. And I'm gonna show you guys what the baby looks like 3D. It is so cute and tiny. Basically, this is what the baby would look like at this week. Right there. Now, again, we do think baby's a lot smaller than this, so this may not be very accurate for me. I think this also explains why I haven't had like crazy symptoms like nausea or anything like that. I really haven't felt a lot going on with my body. I think it's because I'm so early. I think nausea and all of that starts after the 6 week or 7 week mark, so I haven't felt any of that just yet, so that has been a little bit crazy. But I haven't really felt anything. I still have been super tired and a little bit moody. Like I said last week, kind of the same symptoms, just really tired. I've been napping when Amelia naps. If I'm not filming, I'm sleeping or like cleaning my house. But honestly, I've kind of put cleaning and organizing my house to the as the last thing to do, because I've been just so tired and exhausted. So that has been probably my main symptom, is just I'm tired all the time and a little bit of moodiness. I've definitely been a lot more emotional and moody, and yeah, those have been my 2 main symptoms this week. Well guys, I don't feel like I have a lot more to share from last week to this week. Nothing has really changed. I did want to update you guys on my ultrasound and on my appointment. I will talk to you guys next week about the update my doctor gave me, but I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm sorry if my mood or I just seem down. It's just how I feel right now. I don't feel like my appointment went as I would have wanted it to go, and that's a little bit discouraging for me, but I have faith in God and I know it's all in his hands, and I have a good feeling that baby is fine and healthy, but it is still so scary. Oh my God, I don't want to cry. It is still really scary for me because I already feel like this baby is so loved and wanted, and the thought of something happening really scares me. I already feel a connection with the baby. But yeah, I really don't want to get all emotional or anything like that. It's just, I feel like today, March 26th, this is not the best day. I know. I didn't even get bad news, to be quite honest. I just feel like I'm overthinking it, and I am my mind is going places it shouldn't go. And I think that's what's really bugging me, is my anxiety and just my fears. I'm afraid that my worst fears will come to life, but I just have to pray and have faith that it's all in God's hands, and that God is watching over my baby. God is in control of everything. So I just need to remind myself that, and know that everything will be fine, and whatever happens, it's in God's hands. But obviously as a mom, it's still very scary. But I think the more I talk about it, the more emotional I get. So I'm going to try not to talk about that anymore today, and just push through this week. And hopefully next week we get great news and see a heartbeat and see a healthy growing baby, which is exactly what I want to see. And that's it. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on my next weekly bump date. So next week. Bye.